Detroit, Cass Ave, just south of Mac MLK, where Chinatown used to be.
Detroit, too.
This is the official announcement of the Vincent Chin 40th Remembrance and Rededication. Activists that helped bring the case to light have gathered again. 4 days of events are scheduled in June that will look at that history.
With nationwide attention on Asian American hate incidents, we are reminded of Vincent Chin's brutal 1982 murder and miscarriage of justice that followed. We cannot talk about hate crimes and senseless killings today without talking about Vincent Chin.
In 1982, the horrific baseball bat killing of Vincent Chin on the eve of his bachelor party and the miscarriage of justice that followed and allowed his two white killers to be freed without spending a single night in jail, because the judge then said, these are not the kind of men you send to jail in a city like Detroit. That was the springboard for the modern Asian American civil rights movement.
Vincent Chin's mother, Lily Chin, fought for justice with the help of activists Roland Wong, Helen Zia, and Jim Shimura. Back in the 80s, Detroit was mired in a recession in part because auto production was down as Japanese imports had taken hold.
1 out of every 5 cars being sold in this country was built in Japan, while only 1 car in 1,000 being sold in Japan was built in the USA.
Some Detroiters expressed their anger at the imports. With Vincent Chin, well, that anger and violence included a person, too.
It truly helped build an American civil rights movement that was multiracial, multicultural, united for equal justice and human dignity, and Detroit was its epicenter.
Part of this history has been kept alive thanks to WTVS Detroit Public Television, which worked with filmmakers Christine Choi and Renee Tajima-Pena to make the 1987 documentary Who Killed Vincent Chin, featured in the upcoming June events and airing again nationally on PBS.
And the first I heard of it, I said, this can't be true. And I got deeply interested, studied the case, saying, how could this happen in my hometown?
Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan got his law degree in 1983 and went to work for Wayne County. By the year 2000, he was running the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office.
The first thing I said to them is, explain to me how the Vincent Chin case could have happened. And I heard the kind of defensive language you heard. You got to understand, we've got 300 prosecutors, we've got 40,000 felonies a year. There are pleas, you can't keep track of everything. And I said, let me ask you all this. If it had been a 27-year-old white suburbanite who had been beaten to death with a bat by 2 Asian men, do any of you here think you would have not have bothered to go to the hearing and he would have gotten probation? And it was met with dead silence. And I said, I want to have a different standard in this office. I want to make sure that we are charging people. We don't charge somebody more or less because of the color of their skin. And we don't charge somebody more or less because of the color of the skin of the victim. And we're going to put processes in place where we're going to measure our charging patterns, our plea patterns, our sentencing patterns. Because it's the responsibility of the leadership of the office to make sure that the implicit bias that each of us has as an individual doesn't get translated into the criminal justice system.
You know, we are also in this time right now where there are so many forces at play that are trying to whitewash the way that we teach our history. And I think that the fact that we've got this 40th anniversary this year of the killing of Vincent Chin is yet another reminder of how important it is that we are teaching every child the history and the true history and the whole history about what happens in our country, because that is the only way that we are going to get better and that we are going to be able to achieve the type of America that my parents came here believing in.